Welcome to Founders Club. Today you'll be hearing from founder and CEO of VETR.com, the eccentric Andrew Hamilton. Andrew, welcome.
How's it going, Des?
Going well, thanks so much. All right, let's get right into the bread and butter. You started VETR.com to change pet healthcare accessibility. What inspired you to launch it? What makes it different from other health care platforms? And just tell us the whole story.
I've always been into e-commerce and biotech. This is where they intersect. So I've done most of my research and development into new drugs, and you see that people are spending these outrageous amounts for drugs that cost pennies. We're just basically cutting out the middleman in a lot of areas like that. But there's also it takes you 2 weeks to get an appointment with the vet. So and if you have an emergency or something you think is an emergency, that they tell you to go to urgent care. And that's always, you have to choose between, sometimes you have to choose between paying your rent or bills and taking care of your animal. And I think that the health of your animal and your financial health one shouldn't have to suffer for the other. So we found a happy middle ground with a virtual office that better provides to the veterinarians, and the transferring the savings from that, cutting out middlemen and things like that, and us compounding our own drugs. We found the middle ground where vets would be happy having the appointments through their phone even, or their laptop, and getting you know kickbacks or incentivized for selling our drugs as opposed to others. And we're offering same day shipping, sometimes same day receiving, depending on how close you are to our current distribution network. We're looking into opening a place in the middle of the country, probably outside of Memphis or Louisville, Kentucky, so we can get everybody medications the next day. But biggest goal is saving money for pet owners and accessibility.
Amazing. What a story. And, as a pet owner myself, I actually have him right over here, and I made sure not to have any of the squeaky toys available right now. But, I think that I would use this because even myself, I've had emergencies for my Chiweenie. And, there were times where, the financials of saving my pet or at least taking care of his health did perhaps conflict with other things that I needed to, have my day to day. So what is your personal story and personal relationship to the work that you do with Vetter?
Well, everybody has a tragic loss of an animal story if you've been a pet owner. I mean, they just have shorter lives than us. The most recent story um, is I was on vacation with my family, and he was an old guy, my 11-year-old Great Dane ended up getting sick at the boarding place because we were going to be gone for a week. And he ended up getting sick on day one, and we had just landed. And so they sent him, and not to just get a checkup, but to the urgent care. And they're like, oh, well, we need to put him on fluids and oxygen and all of that. And we're like, okay, we'll do that. And he ended up not making it, but he was old, but it ended up being like 5,000 or $6,000 to save, to not even save, to just prolong the life, just in case we were missing something or things like that. And we couldn't get him into our regular vet. And it was just sad. And we ended up having to put him down over a Zoom call, which was terrible. But the thing, the thing that veterinarians are hesitant of even doing that kind of thing in most states, because that it, there are laws that you cannot treat an animal over telehealth in most states. And it used to be like that with humans, but that changed during COVID era, with safe distancing or whatever. But it didn't change for animals. So now you have to get your animal in the car and take him down. If he's take them down just for a regular checkup. Some of these things could be routine, and if we can automate that, so a lot of the routine checkups, we can free up some care space for animals that are a little bit more dire, where they don't have to go straight to the urgent care, and you know that becomes financial stress. I mean, usually a typical urgent care visit is thousands, and if we can find a way to free up some of the time of the veterinarians by changing those laws or restrictions, then we can help reduce suffering and bring better care. And we're going to be working with lobbyists to try to get that overturned and get care more accessible.
So important once again. And I know you're going to help so many, not only families, but pets, which is actually part of the family as well. What's your vision for the future of pet care?
Yeah.
You mentioned working with lobbyists to change these strict laws for pet healthcare. And where do you see VETR.com in the next 2 to 3 years?
Well, currently we are a drug manufacturer. Currently, we focus on over-the-counter OTC drugs and mostly dewormers and things like that, anti-parasitic. But we are with the veterinarian portal on Vetter. We are getting into prescriptions. The main antibiotics, and we do actually have in the works 2 generic drug applications that would be the first generic within their class, or within their drug, that we've seen in a really long time. And we're going to be able to reduce the price of these drugs by 60% and pass on the savings. And so that we're going to keep doing generics to lower the cost of some of these crazy medications that don't have to be that high, other than they don't have any competition currently. So that's the long-term goal, because those things take years to file and get approved. But in the short term, we are adding a section where dog groomers, dog walkers, dog sitters can all use our marketplace, find each other. And during COVID, there was a boom in puppies and cats. That people were selling, people were staying at home, and then Facebook ended up banning the sale or promotion of puppies. And so which, I mean, some things are probably being abused or whatever. A lot of people are selling fake dogs, but we're going to have a marketplace that has reviews where breeders can upload their genetics even and find a perfect match, or there's going to be a map of parasite outbreaks so you can know what's coming in the future near you and what to prepare for, and kind of a social media aspect for your animal. But I mean, obviously, they're not going to be talking to each other, but you might be able to find somebody that, walking in your area, or clubs or groups, and just cool events in the area as well.
That's great. Okay, fun. I can definitely see a lot of applications for that too, and help even my little guy find more friends. That'd be great. All right. Thank you so much, Andrew, for your time. This conversation has been amazing. I know I've learned much more about Vetter and about yourself as a business entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur, in fact. So thank you so much for your time.
Well, thanks for having me. We'll talk soon.